Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back another day, another week in the market. It's Thanksgiving week, and we are currently in the most aggressive rally of all time in the stock market. Doesn't that sound crazy? All right. We have now spiked 8% in the shortest amount of time in the history of the stock market, according to Deckmar Trades on Twitter. Very insane. That's $45 in 16 days. It doesn't feel like it. It does not feel like it at all. I'm not seeing that much euphoria. If you want to ask me for my personal opinion, when we look at the social media landscape of stocks and trading, to me it seems that the SPY and the Qs are heavily disconnected from a lot of people's portfolios. And I see a lot more euphoria going on Twitter, going on YouTube, going in Discord, on days when growth stocks, mid caps, post-COVID crash stocks, those types of names. Those are the days that I see actual euphoria taking place. It just looks like to me that it's more, I could be wrong, but I believe that a lot of retail traders have still a lot of allocation in their portfolios to growth names and mid caps and those names that went, hundreds and hundreds of percents after the COVID crash and then lost like 80% of their value. And then the other side of it is you have the bear market of 2022 shook out a lot of those traders, and now we're getting such quick aggressive moves that the majority of people are missing them. A lot of people have probably missed this move. I missed a good amount of this move in the past couple of weeks. So it's really a time in the market where investors are simply winning. The blue chip, large cap tech stocks, just holding and waiting is performing out well yet again. That's really what it looks like. And eventually everything should come around. All right, not everything. There's some names won't, but eventually a good amount of it should start to pick it up. And we're just looking for those outliers, right? And also eventually, probably soon, we're going to start to see a pullback. All right, this is not going to stay like this forever. So let's get to the charts. Let's talk about what is going on in the market. I do also have an announcement to make. I'll do that in a few minutes. Let's get started with some crypto. Slight amount of hidden bullish divergence for Bitcoin on the daily. We get onto the 1 hour chart. This is really what I'm watching here. That 35K level that was resistance all the way over here flipped into a support, and now you're finding a bunch of resistance at $38,000. This is your third test of it. You're pulling back a little bit right now. So it's very simple. Do you break this level first, or do you break above that zone first? That's really, I think, what a lot of crypto market participants are waiting to see. Ethereum is a swing trade that was alerted in the Discord for everyone. It's up about 15% right now, hanging around that first target still and retesting this $2,000 level. You can see some highs here from May and July. Let's look into some other markets now. The US 10-year continuing to go a little bit lower in this mini wedge that it's forming. The US 2-year is showing a little bit of classic bullish divergence. And I did a weekly call-in premium last night, and I mentioned how seeing how the VIX and the US 10-year are looking, and even the US 2-year, a little bit of a quicker pace, potentially looking to bounce now after this pullback, could also help out with what I'm going to talk about in the market and the bearish harmonic that is formed. But the VIX has pretty much got into the pattern completion zone of this bearish shark. And I think any low above 1270 would be good for the VIX. It's not really easy to do technical analysis on this anymore, but I'm just seeing if this will play out for fun. And honestly, when you look at the SPY, it has the same exact but opposite pattern as the VIX right now. All right, we're going to get to the overall market in a second, though. Let's keep looking through some other markets briefly. And gold, this little wedge is playing out. Hang Seng Index retesting the breakout of this wedge. You could probably rechart this a couple different ways. And then finally, the dollar currency index breaking under the 200-day moving average. All right, maybe helps out Bitcoin a bit. So that's really what things are looking like right now. You can take a quick look at crude oil. This is oil. This is the best one to look at. That's fine. This is oil futures right over here, pulling back a decent amount. Maybe starts to turn into a harmonic. Has to drop a little bit lower down to like 70. All right. I don't know what's happening right now. Okay. I don't know if we have some newcomers in here. There's only one like. This has to be a glitch. Tell me that this is a glitch. And if it's not a glitch, make me think it's a glitch by unglitching the glitch. You know what I mean? All right. I don't know why there's only one like. It has to be a glitch, right? It has to be. I'm sure the glitch will fix itself in like 30 seconds to a minute. Let's talk a little bit about the market now. All right, there's a lot of things I want to cover. And to get started with the SPY, you're at the pattern completion zone of this bearish shark harmonic. Okay. If we go over to the 4-hour chart right now, you pretty much tagged it today. That level was tagged today. It's a little bit interesting though, right? Because you're also, let me take this off the chart for 1 second. You're breaking above this resistance zone. Take a look at this high over here, these highs over here. You're breaking above that. This is actually also breaking above this high. We're going to zoom in here. This high over here, let me highlight it for you. Right there. Okay, that didn't really work, but let's do it like this. Right over here in September 2021. It's a pretty big level, okay? And you're above that. But you are also, let's go back to my original chart, at the pattern completion zone of this bearish harmonic. And you're overbought on the 4-hour. And as of today, for the first day, you are overbought on the RSI, on the daily. Okay. Today's candle was good, however. It was pretty good. Earlier in the morning, I spotted this key level heading into the week, which was 451. It was the high from last Wednesday and Friday. Shout out to Bueller Trades. I was on his stream Friday. He was looking at this level Friday afternoon and how it rejected it. So I had that level charted out going into today, and it broke out of it. And I think it was right over here is when I shared calls. And in the Discord, I was literally like, just holding above the white line is everything. And it not once throughout the whole entire day did it break it. It even came back down. I alerted over here. It went up initially. It came back down to flip it into a support once again before just rallying and rallying the whole day. Those calls went up, I think, about 400% throughout the course of the day. And that was pretty cool. Also shared 20% profits on XLE. And I'm still keeping a very close eye on this one. I know a few other people on Twitter are talking about it, or X as we call it now. Apparently so. XLE, all right, it's breaking above the 200-day moving average. It has confirmed classic bullish divergence on the daily. And if we go over to the 4-hour chart, it is not only breaking out, but also back testing the breakout of this wedge. So I'm still keeping a close eye on XLE, all right? And then I also shared some Mara calls. Shared 3 different options today in premium. Was it Mara or Riot? It was Mara. And I shared them like right over here somewhere, and then they stopped at like right here. And that stop did help out. It broke my level, which was 1041. You can see it. The stop helped out because then it went a lot lower. Those options were probably down like 40% at the lows or something. But then later in the day, Bitcoin finally got a move, and Mara started moving up, and that's what I want to lead into now. Mara and Riot are also both swings I alerted in the Discord, and I was just watching Mitch Ray's stream. He's talking about it too. Pretty interesting look here, all right? It's your first day closing above the 200-day moving average on Mara since September. This happens after you're making consistent higher lows and flipping previous resistance into a support, not once, but twice, with also a minimal amount of resistance until 1283. All right, so Mara is on watch in general, and also on watch going into tomorrow if it can break above today's high, because that somewhat matches the high from October 24th. Now there's also Riot, pretty much doing the same thing. I don't have to do the whole rundown again, but both are now back in profit, thankfully. We also have the lift swing, which is pretty much flat. It's just chopping around the 200-day moving average. And now let's lead into Fisker. I'll do this before I do my announcement. All right. So Fisker had an amazing start to today. Very early in the day, it shot up like 3-4%. I went over to X, not Twitter, and I shared this bullish crap. Shout out to the guy / the lump in the Discord. He's in the YouTube chat right now. He brought this to my attention. And yeah, you're pretty much hanging out around the pattern completion zone. Remember, it's a zone. It's not always going to be a exact price point where you tap the D point and then you shoot to the moon. It could be like a 3 to 5% range in which the price fluctuates before hopefully reversing. It's not a certainty either. And this is pretty much the only significant technical pattern for the chart. It is still a falling knife. This is a little bit of a reach of a swing as well. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, but that's why there's a stop loss, 14%. There was also the previous swing a couple weeks ago, which pretty much went up to the first target out of 3 targets. It pretty much went to the first one right before the earnings. So it was actually literally last week on Monday. I put out a Fisker swing. It went up to like the first target right before the earnings or right after the earnings, and then it dropped all the way to the stop, which was 10%. So it could have been a winner or a loser. But even let's call it a loser, right? 10% loss plus a 14% loss. I know you can't really add percentages like that, but let's just, disregard math for a second. Call it 24%. If one of these swings hits and you get 2 or 3 targets, it's multiples more than that. So that's really the ideology. A large part of this is not even technical. I just do truly believe that Fisker is not going to stay at $2. I'm not saying it's impossible for it to go lower. There could be a day where Fisker is $1. It's definitely not impossible. We've seen it happen to a lot of other stocks in very similar sectors with very similar market caps and PE ratios. It's possible, but there's a lot of different analysis I've shared on Twitter and on my YouTube channel. There's literally a playlist on my channel called Fisker. You can go see all of that for why I do not think it should be at $2. And honestly, I'm kind of long-term happy it is at $2 right now because I don't have any long-term positions. A lot of you know that. Gotta sneeze. I don't have a long-term account right now, and I am looking to start one. So give me some more names like this at these prices, and I might grab a few of them up. We will see. Nonetheless, the trend it is in currently is risky. All right, I do not want to deny that. I just do think that long-term is undervalued. It's announcement time. All right. Just a small, well, 2 little announcements. We're gonna do the first one. Because I'm going to do this first announcement, and you're going to be like, oh, that's the announcement. And then I'm going to parlay it into the actual second announcement. So first announcement, it's a pin chat. It's in the YouTube comments. You can use code Black Friday for 50% off. I'm not doing this for lifetime. I was serious. Some of you thought I was lying. I was serious when I said there was a limited time spots or the limited amount of spots for lifetime 30% off. There was no way I was going to do 50% off lifetime because then it would be cheaper than annual. It just wouldn't make sense. So I literally took the lifetime option off of the WAP page for the week so that you can't use that 50% coupon code for lifetime. It'll be back up at the normal price next week. But for monthly and annual, you can get 50% off your first subscription. Now here's the second announcement / the cooler part to that. All right. First time I'm talking about it on stream. I mentioned this in premium maybe a month ago. I mentioned it on Twitter briefly today. And next year, all right, a large part of why I'm even saying this right now is so that I hold myself to it, because I know that if I'm going to make this a public thing, I'm going to have to do it, right? So next year, summer or fall, this is not something that's going to come in like 2 or 3 months. Next year, summer or fall, there's going to be Champion Vibe Algo coming out. All right. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to implement that. I already know what I want it to be. I'm not sure if it's going to, however, I'm not sure if it's going to be directly on TradingView where you can just go to indicators and add it, or if it's going to be like a Discord plugin where when you're in the premium in the Discord, there's a whole channel kind of like this. It's not going to look like this at all, but kind of similar to this where it's just firing off, which is already there from Tradietics, which is awesome. But it's going to basically be my brain in a trading bot. And what's the reasoning for this? There's a lot. The first is that this is just the era that we're in. I'm not going to be the first one to do this. I know many other people that are starting to head this way. Some already have started doing that and have seen success. Some have not. However, I think that, and trust me, I've tried out many of them. I'm not going to name names. You can go on Twitter. You can go find out. You know, there's probably 4 or 5 traders we're all thinking of right now when I'm saying that they have algos. I've tried out probably 4 or 5 of them. One of them I kind of liked. The others, that's why I'm not naming names, because I never want to knock on someone else's business or anything and way of supporting themselves, but it was just useless to me. And this is the same thing I saw when I started streaming. Why did I start streaming? Because I saw other people not necessarily teaching incorrectly. There's so many different ways to teach, there's so many different ways to trade, but they were just not making it simple. They were overcomplicating things, which especially for beginners and people who are busy at work and stuff, you just want it straight to the point. All right, now I can't tell anybody what to buy or sell, but this algo is going to be very straight to the point in terms of how it looks and what results pop out of it. The actual ins and outs of it, the thing that's popping out those results, is going to be very complex, and I'm looking to partner with a couple different people to actually make this. Surprise, surprise, I don't know how to code. I've never done anything like this before, which is why I need to find people that are a lot smarter than me to basically implement what's in my brain. And that's why it's going to take time. And I have started to learn the basics of Python, but definitely not to the point where I can put what's in my brain into code and make it a good thing. And it's no lie that in the past year, the streams have been lacking, the Discord outside of Premium's been lacking, all of this stuff. So another reason as to why I want to do this is not just to kind of clean up that space, but also when I am busy, because a lot of you know I'm doing like 4 other things right now, and I'm not always going to be doing 4 other things, but it's going to basically be able to represent my brain, and it's going to be automated, which is just how productivity is going to be in the next forever. So anybody who joins Premium and stays signed up until it's out will have guaranteed access to it. If you're not in Premium by the time it's out, you're going to have to pay for it. So let's say you're not in Premium, you would therefore, if you wanted to be in Premium and you also wanted the algo, you'd have to join Premium and then buy the algo separately. However, if you're in Premium before it's released, you're already in Premium, so you obviously don't have to pay for it then. And then you're also going to, anybody who's in Premium, by the time the algo comes out, I'm literally just going to give you a 100% off code to the algo. That's it. I'm going to make like probably manual codes for everyone, so nobody can just go and share with all of their friends. Make like one manual code with like one spot, like, you know, you put in the code, it only works for one person. Send it to every single Premium member, and then I'm going to actually make it live and publicly available for anybody to buy. I don't know what the pricing is going to be. I don't know what the actual name of it's going to be. I'm seeing Algo Vibe or Champ Algo. It may not even be related to the Champion Vibe branding. Right now I'm just calling it Champion Vibe Algo as like, it's like project name. That might be the actual name. Again, this is very, very early stages. I know what it's going to do. All right. That's maybe 20% of the work, knowing what it's going to do. Then another 50% of the work is actually making it. Then another 30% of the work is all the other stuff, fine tuning it, getting people to test it, marketing it, all this different stuff. So my gamble, all right, and I'm not someone who wants to talk about gambling while we're looking at stocks. So my gamble is that my way of turning around a lot of these things that have not been going well in the free trading movement community, all right, you know, I'm still representing it, is basically going to be automating the whole darn thing. I was going to say another word, all right. I don't want to force things anymore. I really don't. That's why, if you guys have realized, I stream when I want to stream now. I used to stream every single day whether I wanted to or not. I made myself do it a lot of days. Now I want to do things that I want to do, things that really make me want to wake up and put a smile on my face. And this feels like something that will do that for me. So time to get to work. I really don't want to talk about details because I don't want somebody to start making plans for me and sealing my whole thing. So I'm not going to be really releasing any details apart from the fact that I'm making one until it's out. And if anybody wants to help out in any way, please feel free to reach out. But that's what I wanted to say. And to tie it back into things, what a great time to get that guaranteed. If you just literally go to wap.com/championvibe, pin chat, use code Black Friday, and then get Premium Annual, 50% off. You're saving over $200, I believe, and you're getting the algo for free. All right. So that's the announcement. And there's a lot of other things that tie into this that I can't talk about yet, but there's many reasons behind this. Basically, I had 4 or 5 different problems. And I realized that And I was trying to find a way to fix all of these problems separately. And I realized that this one thing can actually fix all of them. And I know that sounds very weird and like whatever, but a lot will be explained in the future. Maybe some of you are catching on to what I'm saying, but in 4 or 5 different ways, the world is changing. And if I don't start changing with it, I'm gonna get left behind. So yeah, that's where we're at. Hope you're all excited. If you want to join Premium, it's not just going to be the algo. There is options. I shared 3 of them today, as you can see right here. The Mara was a 9% loss. SPY was a 350% potential profit. And then the XLE was up 20%, but hopefully we get some more from that later in the week. There's swings. I'm obviously not going to show that. You have the mods chat, which is super cool. Shout out to AK. I see you in the chat. Seek. Shout out to Papa Strada. Weekly watch list, I guess I can just show you some of this stuff. I'm going to just show you the whole entire watch list for this week, bullseye, all that stuff. So going into this week, we already talked about XLE. Another sector that I really was focused on when we were in our call last night is financials. All right. And it might have been AK who brought it up, or someone did. But if we first take a look at XLF, first it broke out of this like descending broadening wedge. If we zoom out a little bit more over to the weekly, it's breaking out on the weekly too. A lot of the large banks have major harmonics, and it's pretty interesting that a lot of these large cap tech stocks are at all-time highs, and a lot of these financial names, like some of the biggest ones in the world, are literally around their COVID crash lows. They made like 80-70% retraces back down towards their COVID crash lows. And now what some of them are doing, Bank of America, for example, trying to break the 200-day moving average. JP Morgan's definitely been a little bit ahead of the others, a little bit of a different chart, but Citi looks also pretty similar. Hit pretty much the pattern completion zone of this bullish bat, now testing the 200-day moving average. All right. So I wanted to bring that up as well. And that's pretty much what I had for today. I mean, let me see if any names really moved. Microsoft, that cup and handle on the daily is playing out. Of course, there's all that open AI news going on. But what did I say? I think I said this yesterday in the premium call. Look at this high from July 18th. It held as support 3 days in a row last week, and then boom, you went to make a new all-time high closely on Microsoft. Another key level intraday was this. I shared this in the morning, I believe. 376.33. It was a key resistance from last Thursday. And this morning you tested it, rejected it, then you broke out of it, flipped it into a support, and went slightly higher. Nvidia as well, new all-time highs. It closed above its previous all-time high candle on the 24th of August. And what else is here that moved? Netflix, this little breakout is playing out right now. You see this huge zone over here. Look at this. Previous highs, previous lows, previous highs, previous highs. Breaking out of it, there's a gap fill at 507. Coinbase had a huge day, up 7%. This is about to hit the third target of the swing. This was shared in premium. I alerted a swing on Coinbase when it was around $75 back in August, and it's now at 106. Literally only one target left, and it's most of the way there. Yeah, I can take a look at Airbnb and Tesla. What's up, Kaleidoscope? And there we go. I knew there was a glitch. Thank you for the 10 likes. All right, first off, Airbnb broke out of this downsloping channel, and now it's also testing a breakout of the 200-day moving average. We've got a gap fill at 135.58, and then another level at 145. Tesla had a pretty quiet day today, did not do much. I see it as like a larger wedge on the daily, and then on the weekly, an inverse head and shoulders, potentially. PayPal and Zoom, you got it, Trader Joe. I like the name. I like the name Trader Joe. I just went to Trader Joe's yesterday. PayPal is, it's like an extreme falling wedge, honestly. So, thing about these wedges, right? You could say it's a bullish wedge right now, but it can be a bullish wedge down over here at $40 too. So it's just a waiting game in my opinion. Zoom, I think they had earnings today. They did have earnings, so let's see what happened after hours. It was pretty flat after hours. I know Anna shared some of the financials in the Discord. Zoom revenue 1.14 billion versus 1.11 billion estimated. 129 EPS versus 110 estimated. Revenue exceeded guidance due to enhanced collaboration platform features like Zoom AI Companion. All right, I'm not gonna dive too deep into that. Let's take a look at the chart though. I mean, look, it's showing a double bottom at a major support. This is its final support, 60-ish bucks. I'm just gonna make it a zone because there's a few different levels there. All right, it's double bottoming there with a down sloping channel, which is bullish. You also have classic bullish diversions on the MACD. Major volume came in very recently. Getting like major buying volume on a green day off support that's historical is very key. That's showing that other buyers are seeing the same exact level. So this is a very interesting chart right now, I will say. We're going to be talking about like upside levels. These are very long term and a little bit extreme. First you got 75, then 85, and then the big one at pretty much 100 bucks. Look at this high over here. Look at all of these lows over here and a gap fill. But yeah, I'm going to keep this one on my watch list. I want to maybe update it on a couple more streams. And a quick reminder, if anyone here is new, make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications. Streams are going to be most weeknights. Sometimes you're like 8 o'clock Eastern, sometimes 9 o'clock Eastern. Depends on what I'm doing. Yeah, we can take a look at MU. Beautiful. 22% since the alert. Only the third target is left. We go over to the weekly. It broke out of a nice triangle. Look how it flipped all of this resistance into a support. It's on its way up. I mean, on the weekly time frame, there's really no resistance until all-time highs. I know that sounds weird, but maybe a little bit like 85 bucks. 85 and then 97 are the next two levels on the week. And on the daily as well, pretty much. You can use fibs, sure. Those are your fibs. All right. Anybody else have any trading questions or tick requests? Drop them in the chat right now. Hit the like button. Tell me how your day went. Anybody take any trades today? I don't know who it is, but shout out to whoever keeps watching me on Kick. Every time I'm streaming on YouTube and Kick, I always have one viewer on Kick, and whoever you are, I appreciate it. Gambling stocks have been on a tear. N pretty much broke out of this wedge, just broke above the 200-day moving average, really for the first time since the beginning of the year. Huge move there. And this is the one that I think has something to do with the ESPN betting app thing. And is looking like an enticing bet. It sounds like a pretty biased thing, but the gambling company gets an upgrade to buy from neutral from analysts at BOFA based on the outlook for ESPN Bet, which was formed out of a $1.5 billion sports betting deal with ESPN in August. Doesn't Disney own ESPN? And then we have DraftKings. Just on an absolute tear. This triangle played out beautifully. If you were in the streams back in October, I was looking at that triangle. Beautiful move. Literally on the earnings it broke out. And it's just been that post-earnings announcement drift. Peed. Continuing to go higher after good earnings. $40 is coming up quickly though. It's a major low from May of 2021. And then there's also, I believe this is FanDuel stock. It's an OTC. They're owned by Flutter Entertainment, I believe. And this also is in a pretty deep wedge. It's an OTC though. I don't know. I don't really trade OTCs, but I wanted to have the chart. And I was gonna mention something else. I mean, you just see the landscape of. I really want to go take a look at these companies' earnings because I feel like 2 years ago, maybe it's just an age thing. Like I was under 21 2 years ago, and now like everyone I know around my age is now also over 21. But I know a lot of you are older than me. Have any of you just like recently started like sports betting in the last 1 to 2 years? I don't know if they're just crushing it on the marketing, but now you have all of these people like on WAP and literally like new streamers and stuff, like how we had a lot of traders like blowing up, like stock traders like really getting popular right after the COVID crash. I feel like in the last year we've seen so many different sports bettors, cappers as they call them, starting to blow up. That's like the new thing now. So many people are just getting so famous off of like making crazy $10 to win $100,000 parlays. It's like all I see every time I go on Twitter now. And yeah, I don't know how much money is really going into this whole sports betting thing. I mean, think about it. 40 years ago, not even, way less than that, you would have to go to a casino. You'd have to drive to an area where it's legal to gamble, to even gamble on sports. Now you just pick up this device and you can pick literally any sport you want at any time and make 1,000 different combinations of what you want to do. It's crazy. Take a look at Amazon. Testing the breakout of this 145. This is such a huge level. It used to be support, flipped into resistance. It's like a major inverse head and shoulders, testing a breakout. Take a look at Tilray. Palantir. Zeke played some QQQ calls today. I hope that worked out well. Tilray is testing a double bottom at like $1.60-ish. See how that goes. And then Palantir, breakout. I think I shared this in chat. Yeah, broke above $20. And that was your major high from August. Today went up to $21.34. There's not much until the gap fill at $24 now. Right? So that's going to be it for tonight's stream. Thank you all for watching the stream. I appreciate every single one of you. If you enjoyed the stream, let me know in the comments. If you're watching the replay, if you're on the Discord, it's discord.gg/freetradingmovement at the bottom of your screen. And if you missed the beginning of the stream, 50% off for Black Friday. And that's going to be available for about the next week. To get annual or monthly, your first subscription, 50% off. So just so you can try it out, you can get half off. You know what? You want to try it out for free? You don't even want half off? All right? You don't want to... Half off is not enough for you to try it out? Fine. You can get it for free. You can get premium for free. I'm looking at you. wap.com/championvibe. You can get it for free. For one day. Okay. Have a great night. Go get premium for free for a day. I'm probably going to do live trading tomorrow morning, so I'll see you there. And also, just another slight announcement. A lot of my chats in the last year have been in the premium chat. And, there's so much other stuff going on in here too. What I'm going to try to start doing is making like only premium related stuff in this chat, like from like the options and the swings in here. I'm going to really start trying to utilize this trading floor channel throughout the day. So if any of you who are on the YouTube stream, anybody can access this channel, anybody in the world, you can see it. Come say what's up with me. If you want someone to talk to during market hours, you can talk to me during market hours. All right. I'll be there for you. Just join this chat and say what's up tomorrow, and I'll see you there. Have a great night.